Hello, my hardworking students. Today we're going to look at angle facts. And in particular, we're going to look at complementary and supplementary angles. So as a starter, this time we don't have a fun activity. We have some revision. So at this point, you should know the name of these angles. If you're not sure, you have to choose from these keywords, okay? So these keywords are specific for these angles. So what you need to do now is to pause the video and try to see what type of angle is this. Is it reflex, acute, or right angle, or obtuse? Okay, then you move on to the next one. And then I will show you the answers so you can mark the work, and we can also clarify what is an acute angle, what is a right angle, and obtuse and reflex as well. Okay, now let's have a look. Here are the names of the angles. The first one is obtuse, this one is acute, and third one is acute as well. So let's clarify, in case you forgot, let's clarify what makes an angle obtuse, what makes it acute, and reflex, and so on. So an obtuse angle is an angle that is bigger than 90 degrees, but smaller than 180. Okay, so let's see a line here. We can have a look. Yeah, so this is a line, and this makes the angle 180 degrees. And this line here, assuming it's perpendicular, yeah, this is what makes this angle 90 degrees, and then this one is as well 90 degrees. So you can clearly see that this angle is bigger than 90 degrees because it goes from here, it goes here. Okay, so this angle here is bigger than 90 degrees and smaller than 180, so that's why it's called obtuse. Okay, an acute angle is an angle that is smaller than 90 degrees, and if you're not sure, here is kind of like a sketch. So line, yeah, or you can imagine from the same point. So this is what a 90-degree angle looks like, and this is your angle, so that's why it's less, so it's called acute. Okay, and this one is less than 90, so it's acute. This one looks like a right angle, so it should be right. Usually you can see this is right angle because it has a square like that. If it has a square, that's definitely a right angle. If it doesn't have a square, you kind of have to judge by the image, okay, if you don't have any other indications. And this angle is obtuse because, as you can see, it doesn't actually make 180 yet. If it goes all the way here, it makes 180 degrees. Okay, and then this one here, this is a reflex angle because it's an exterior angle. So if you want to look at the reflex angle here, it would look like this. A reflex angle is bigger than 180 degrees. This angle is acute, and this one in here is also acute, and the exterior ones are always reflex angles. Okay, this is a reflex angle as well. Right, so let's look at complementary angles. As you can see from these images, a complementary angles, two angles are complementary if they add up to, you guessed it, 90 degrees. So obviously, if these two angles together give you 90 degrees, then if you want to find out how much one of them is, you have to do 90 degrees, take away the other one. So you do 90 degrees, take away the one you know. which is 20 degrees. Okay? For this one, you do 90 degrees minus 30 degrees. Very easy. So this activity has only one step. To take away the remaining angle from 180 degrees. If you have more than one angle, yeah, let's just say here, if you have more than one angle, you have to add up the two of them, and then you take away from 90 degrees. Here we do 90, take away 51 degrees. So that should be 39 degrees. Okay, so this angle is 39 degrees. I want to make sure you know what to do if you have questions where you have more than one angle given, okay? Because you could have 3 angles that add up to 90 degrees or even 4. Okay, so let's just say if this angle here is 20 degrees, this one is 30 and this one is x, and we need to find out x. Yeah, if you have that, you need to do it in 2 steps. Okay, step 1 is to add the 2 angles together. So step 1, you do 30 degrees plus 20 degrees, which gives you 50 degrees. And step 2, you have to take away from 90 degrees, take away the amount you found here, which is 40 degrees. Okay, so if that is the case, then the remaining angle here should be 40 degrees. And if you have something like this, you just have one step where you take away this from 90 degrees. Okay, so now that we clarified this, pause the video and do the next activity. And I'm back. So as we discussed prior, every single one of these angles is an angle that is 90 degrees. I mean, the big angle is a 90-degree angle, and it's called complementary. So in order to find it, here we only do one step, which is 90 minus 75. Here we need to do 2 steps. Yeah, step 1 is to do 35 plus 33, which is 68. And step 2 is to do 90 degrees, take away 68 degrees. Okay, and it leaves you with 22 degrees. And that's how you find this. So here are the answers. Make sure you mark the work, and we move on after that. Okay, next thing we're gonna learn about is supplementary angles. Supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. And as you see in the example, if you are given one angle and you are not given the other one, you only have to do one step, which is to do 180 degrees minus 50 degrees. So that's how you find the missing angle. I just want to add to that, and imagine we have 3 angles. We have one that is missing. Yeah, angle X is missing, but we know this angle here, which is 30, and we know this angle here, which is 90. Okay, so step 1, just like in the previous activity, step 1 is to do 90 degrees plus 30 degrees, which gives us 120 degrees. So we add up the two of them. And the second step is to do 180 minus 120 degrees, which gives you, here I'll show you in steps. If you're not sure how to do this in your head, 0 and 6 and nothing. So this should be 60 degrees. Okay, there we go. So let's try to do some practice questions now. If you have 3 missing angles, you also have to do 2 steps. First step is to add these together, these 3 angles together. Second step is to take away that number from 180 degrees. So pause the video now and do your best to complete the whole work. Okay, and the answers for this section are here. So you have to do, actually, you don't need this one or this one or that one. Okay, so just make sure you mark your work, and I'm sure there's not much that you can get stuck on because we have discussed all possible scenarios. Okay, and one last thing about angles, one last fact. Angles at a point. Angles at a point, they add up to 360 degrees, and I'm going to show you why. If you know that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees, and then you have another angle on a straight line here, that's also 180 degrees. Then if you add the two of them, you add this with that, then you get 360 degrees. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so 2 steps we have to do here in order to find the missing angle. First of all, we have to find out how much do we have so far, and the way we do that is by adding all the numbers we have. Step 1, add everything. Okay, 110 plus 100 degrees plus 120 degrees, 220 degrees. That's what we have so far. And step 2 is find out how much more do you need to get to 360 degrees. And you do that by subtracting this number from 360 degrees. 220. Okay, and that's 0, that's a 4, and that's a 1. So it means we need another 140 degrees for this angle in order to have them all adding up to 360 degrees. And just a quick thing, if you ever have this in a test, you have a little bit of spare time, or even when you do this on your own, you can check your work by taking these 3 angles and adding them up together. Okay, so you can do 140, 100 plus 120. If they add up together to 360, means you've done them right. And you can do the same to this ones here. If you found this angle here, you can add this with that, and with that, if they add up to 180 degrees, it means that your work is correct. Okay, so that is all I wanted to show you here. Now you can do the activity for these types of angles at a point. Okay, so obviously first one here is just angles on a straight line. You don't need to know they add up to 360. Okay, so just look at these ones. So you add the 3 of them here, see how much you have, then you take away from 180 to find out J. Okay, and then you carry on. This symbol means 90 degrees, so you should be able to add 90 with 110, and whatever you get, you take away from 360. So I'm gonna leave you to it. Pause the video and carry on with the work, and then I'll give you the answers. Okay, and the answers are as follow. You don't need this one, and you don't need this one. Okay, here are your answers. I don't know if there's anything you're not sure about here. You have to add all of these up, then take away from 360. Okay, so the method is the same for all of them. So if you need to still mark the work, pause the video and mark the work. If you finished, you enjoyed it, and you've done it right, well, thank you, and for sticking until the end, and for working so hard to improve your maths. And I'm going to see you in the next lesson. And if you need more exercises or more resources, there is a link in the description where you can find my website, where you can find a lot of resources, everything else you need. See you soon!